continuing with the unit of classification of elements for 11th class. Today's topic is trends in physical properties. There are some physical properties which we shall be discussing today, and their trends along a period and then in a group. First, let us come to some physical properties. For example, atomic radius. First, let us know what atomic radius is. Atomic radius is basically, suppose if this is an atom and this is a nucleus of an atom. This is nucleus. This is first shell and this is second shell and so on. This is the center of the nucleus and this is the valence shell. The distance between the center of nucleus and the valence shell, this distance is called atomic radius. However, exact atomic radius cannot be measured. The reason being very simple, that we cannot have an isolated atom. When we do not have an isolated atom, this is not possible to exactly measure the atomic radius. Now, then what is atomic radius? Atomic radius is half the distance between bonded atoms, between their nuclei. That is basically atomic radius. But here, for your convenience, let atomic radius be the distance between the center of nucleus and the valence shell. Now, what happens to this atomic radius? Atomic radius is a physical property. What happens to atomic radius when we move along a period in the periodic table? Period, as you know, the horizontal rows in the periodic table, 7 horizontal rows. And in group, what are groups? Groups are vertical columns. How many groups were there? 18 vertical groups, or simply 18 groups were there in a modern periodic table. This time, I will discuss this trend. What happens to atomic radius along a period and in a group? First, along this period. For example, I take any period. Say this is lithium, atomic number 3. Then beryllium, atomic number 4. Then boron, atomic number 5. Then carbon, atomic number 6, nitrogen, atomic number 7, oxygen, atomic number 8, fluorine, atomic number 9, and neon, atomic number 10. These are some elements, rather all elements of group 2. Now let us see what happens to atomic radius. Let us make their atoms. This is lithium. This is nucleus of lithium, only 3 protons in it and 2 shells, first shell and second shell. This is again nucleus, first shell and second shell. Similarly further, and finally we move to fluorine. This is nucleus of fluorine and this is first shell and second shell. What we find, what we observe along a period, the atomic radius. But before going to atomic radius, let us come to atomic size. You see here the atomic size of lithium is larger, it is greater than fluorine. So what happens to atomic size? Atomic size regularly goes on decreasing in a period. Why? Reason being very simple. Here in this nucleus there are 3 protons, here 4 protons, here 5 protons, here 6, here 7, here 8, and finally 9 and 10. In case of this, that is neon, there are 10 protons, that is your nuclear strength is highest. Higher the nuclear strength, smaller will be the size. Why? Because your nucleus attracts these electrons with much greater force, thereby compressing the size, thereby contracting the size. So when we move from left to right in a period, the atomic size goes on decreasing, and consequently the atomic radius will go on decreasing along this period. So in a period, when we move from left to right in periodic table, the atomic radius of elements shows a decreasing end. This is one property, atomic radius. Another property we have, ionic radius. Like atomic radius, we have ionic radius now. Ionic radius means ionic radius. This is the radius of an ion. For example, if this is sodium, say this is sodium, atomic number 11, electronic configuration 281. If it loses one electron, it forms sodium ion. This is an ion. Similarly, if this is chlorine, atomic number 287, it gains one electron to acquire stability and form chloride ion. So this is sodium ion and this is chloride ion. And if this is sodium ion, let me draw structure of sodium ion. Sodium, its electronic configuration is 2,8 because one electron has been lost. So it will be its nucleus. This is first shell and second shell. 2 electron in the first shell, 8 in the second. So this distance, the distance between the center of nucleus and the valence shell, the distance between the center of nucleus and the valence shell of an ion, not of an atom, of an ion, is known as ionic radius. So what happens to ionic radius along a period or in a group? Same what happened to atomic radius. So ionic radius goes on decreasing from left to right in a period. And as far as in a group it is concerned, in a group your ionic radius goes on increasing. Why in a group it goes on increasing and atomic radius also goes on increasing? Because when we move from top to bottom in a group, in any group of the periodic table from top to bottom, the atomic size goes on increasing. Why? Because as we come down, the new shells keep on adding, and when new shells keep on adding, the atomic size increases, and consequently ionic size also increases. So your ionic radius shows a decreasing trend in a period but an increasing trend in a group. So this is all about this ionic radius. This was another physical property and its trend along a period and in a group. Another property is valence. Valence, or simply valency. This is also known as valency. Valence or valency. This is another physical property. Now what is valency in broader term? Valency means combining capacity of an element. Combining capacity of an element is known as its valency, or combining capacity of an element is known as its valence. But in real terms, we can define valency as number of hydrogen atom. Please remember, number of H atoms or number of halogen atoms. X per halogen. Halogen, you know, halogen, there is chlorine, bromine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are all halogens. They are represented by X. So this is hydrogen, this is halogen, and this is oxygen. Please remember now what is valency or what is valence. Number of H atoms or halogen atoms. Please remember, number of H atoms, that is hydrogen atoms, or number of halogen atoms, or twice the number of oxygen atoms. Please remember, this is the definition of valency or valence: number of hydrogen atoms or number of halogen atoms, or twice the number of oxygen atoms that combine with one atom of an element, with one atom of an element, is called the valency of this element. That will be known as the valency. Now what happens to valency? How we determine valency? For example, this is a compound ammonia. We will like to determine the valency of nitrogen. Now see, how many hydrogen atoms are combining with one atom of nitrogen? 3. So the valency of nitrogen, valency or valence of nitrogen in this is how much? 3. Why 3? Because 3 atoms of hydrogen are combining with one atom of nitrogen. Similarly, this is another compound, PCl5. Chlorine. Chlorine is a halogen. How many halogen atoms are combining with phosphorus? 5 halogen atoms are combining with one atom of phosphorus. So the valency of phosphorus is 5. Similarly, if I take some other example, say water. What is the valency of oxygen here? The valency of oxygen here is 2. Why 2? Because 2 atoms of hydrogen are combining with one atom of oxygen. So these are some methods of finding valency. Now what happens to valency? Valency first goes on increasing in a period. It goes on increasing in a period. For example, first it moves from 1 to 4 and then it decreases to 0. This is the trend of valency along a period. But as far as its trend in a group is concerned, it remains the same. Please remember, valency of elements that does not change in a group. So this is all about valency or valence. This was another physical property and its trend along a period and in a group. Now moving to another physical property, that is ionization energy. Now what is ionization energy? I will show you it by means of a diagram. This is an atom. This is the nucleus of atom. Suppose this atom has 3 shells. 1, 2, 3 shells. Suppose this is sodium atom. You know the electronic configuration of sodium is 281. 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 in the second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1 in the valence shell. Now if we want to remove this valence electron is most loosely bound electron. If we want to remove this electron so that your sodium becomes stable, in order to acquire stability, this one electron needs to be removed. But for that purpose, we will have to supply energy to it. We will require certain amount of energy. So that amount of energy which is required to remove this most loosely bound electron from this atom is known as ionization energy. Why ionization energy? Because when it loses one electron, it becomes an ion, say sodium ion. That is why ionization energy. So what is ionization energy? The minimum amount of energy required. The minimum amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from a neutral isolated gaseous atom. But one thing that must be kept in mind, that the atom which loses electron, it should be neutral isolated gaseous atom. It should be neutral, that means it should have no charge, it should be isolated, it should be separated, and it should be in gaseous state. So in gaseous state, when an atom loses electron, that that requires certain amount of energy to do that. That energy is known as ionization energy. Now what happens to this ionization energy in a period? In period, you know, as we move from left to right, size goes on decreasing. So we will require more energy in the right extreme element. So your ionization energy goes on increasing from left to right in a period. Why? The reason is very simple. As we move from left to right, the size goes on decreasing and your nucleus becomes closer to the valence shell. But in a group, as you know, suppose if we move in first group, we will find that first element has one shell, second has two shells, third has three shells, and so on, and finally I have 7 shells. For example, 1 shell, 2 shells, 3 shells, 4 shells, 5 shells, and so on. Now see what happens to this. This is valence electron, this is valence electron, this is valence electron, this is valence electron, and this is valence electron. This is nucleus in the center. Now see, this requires more energy to remove this electron as compared to this. Why? Here nucleus is very close to this electron. It will attract this electron with much greater force as compared to this, because here in this case nucleus is much farther, much away from that valence electron. So it requires lesser amount of energy so that this electron is removed. So what happens to your ionization energy in this group? It goes on decreasing from top to bottom in any group of the periodic table because of increasing atomic size. So this is all about ionization energy. Then this ionization energy is also known as ionization enthalpy. Enthalpy means energy, or it also means it is also named as ionization potential. Then I have another property, another physical property, that is electron affinity. This is quite opposite of ionization energy. In ionization energy, we were supplying energy to remove the valence electron. But here in electron affinity, this is also known as electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain. Here what happens? Here electron is gained. For example, if I take some example, say this is fluorine. Atomic number of 9 and electronic configuration of 2, 7. Now we find here that it requires 1 electron. You can add 1 electron. We don't have to remove electron this time. We have to add 1 electron. So in order to add 1 electron so that it becomes fluoride ion, what we do, we don't require energy. We don't add energy. We have to do quite opposite of that. We will have to, what? Energy has to be released. Energy has to be released by this fluorine atom. The amount of energy that is released by this fluorine atom will be known as electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. As we move from left to right in any that period of the periodic table, what happens to this enthalpy? This enthalpy goes on increasing. See, reason being very simple, because from when we move from left to right, the metallic character goes on decreasing. On the left extreme we have metals, on the right extreme we have non-metals. So this is all about, but in a group, what happens to electron affinity? It becomes quite opposite of ionization energy. Ionization energy showed which trend in the group? It showed decreasing trend, but your electron affinity shows increasing and in a group. This is all about electron affinity. Similarly, I have some other properties, say metallic character, and then non-metallic character. They are opposite characters. Metallic character, from left, metallic character means ability of an atom to form cation, and metallic character means ability of an element to form this anion. Now, as we know, from left to right, metallic character shows a decreasing end. So metallic character very clearly from left to right, when we move in a period, it shows a decreasing trend. That is from left to right, the metallic character shows a very diminishing that trend, that decreasing trend. And as far as non-metallic character is concerned, that will go opposite. That means non-metallic character will show increasing trend. In this period, your metallic character, that shows what? Metallic character shows decreasing trend, and here it shows increasing trend. So this is all. There are some more physical properties, but today we shall conclude here. That's all. Thank you very much.